Well, in order to know where you're going, you got to know where you came from. As some people say, where you come from. And one way to know where you from, whence you come, particularly in Central Georgia, well, all over the world, really, is to be familiar with the Tubman African American Museum, because it houses all kind of relics and archives and historical information about African Americans. And sometimes people will get a better understanding of who you are, why you are, what you are, and where you are, and where you ought to be headed, if in fact one was more familiar with his or her history. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
And I'm your host, Alex Habersham, coming to you from the Harriet Tubman African American Museum. And I'm proud to be a part of, I'm proud to be doing this show from here. And I think it's particularly important because, you know, we're on the brink of African American History Month, and you know we need to be reminded, you know, oftentimes of our history, and so I'm just glad to be here from that perspective, and there are other perspectives that makes me proud. First of all, I have with me the executive director of the Tubman. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then we're going to talk about some other topics.
Well, first of all, let me say we're delighted to have you here today. Thanks for shooting your show here. And you're right. I mean, this is an exciting time, and this is a wonderful time for us to be really thinking about how much African American contributions to history and culture have shaped this nation, shaped this region, and there's a lot of ways that we try to do that here. I'm Andy Ambrose. Sorry about that. I'm the executive director of the Tubman African American Museum, and here we explore African American history through art and through, as you said, historical artifacts, through classes, through workshops, through events like the Pan-African Festival of Georgia, and a wonderful concert involved we've got coming up on January 25th. All that jazz now in its 18th year and getting bigger and better and more exciting every year.
Okay, well, we want to talk about some of those phenomenal events, and I don't know why he missed the event where I cooked the collard greens. You know,
okay.
I mean, I thought he really appreciated, you know, people like, what's the name of that?
It's International Taste of Soul.
The Taste of Soul.
Yes.
You know, I put on my chef hat and cooked some collard greens, and no one believed I cooked them, but, you know, it wasn't their business whether I cooked them or not. They ate them and they enjoyed them, but
Sure
it's
did.
such a pleasure for me to be here to help talk about and promote. They got a lot of events associated with the Tubman, but right now we've got some coming up, and I'm excited because a lot of people say, wow, you know, with all that jazz, they got this phenomenal jazz musician coming. So talk a little about that.
Well, that's been one of the exciting things, is being able to bring really prominent jazz artists like Najee, who's a Grammy-nominated jazz musician, come here to Macon and put on an incredible concert of live music. But it's even more than that. I mean, that evening features food and dance and music and a wonderful time. But even more importantly, for the Tubman Museum, it's an event that raises funds to support all our educational offerings, and those are a critical part of what we do and the impact that we have in this community.
Well, Najee is not a small-time artist.
No.
You know, he's a phenomenal artist, and like you said, he won the Grammy. And it's just so, you know, a lot of people say, Andy, that there isn't anything to do in sin, but it's a lot to do.
No, there's almost too much to do some nights. If you're like me, you're picking between things all the time. But you're right. I mean, and this is a wonderful opportunity because, and when we talk about African American contributions to American culture, most of what I think the world associates with the United States is a result of the African influences, African American contributions. When you look at jazz, you look at soul, you look at rock and roll, you look at all of the musics that define the U.S. and jazz is such a central one of those. And it's just a marvelous opportunity to enjoy it.
And a lot of people, still have yet to acknowledge that many of the other genres, if you please, of music really were derived from the soul music and the African beat and rap and things. All of those came out of, what was then, what they call in, I can't remember the name of the movie, but they called it race music.
Race music, yes.
Back in the day, they called it race music, really made a contribution. So now, when is this event?
It's Saturday, January 25th. And it's the concert itself is going to start at 8 o'clock. We'll open the doors at 7 o'clock. And we're going to start off with Jimmy Mills and his band, GQ Club. And we're going to have, I think Johnny Hollingsworth's going to be doing the vocals for that. And then after a brief intermission, then we'll bring Najee on. But there's going to be a lot of things going on that evening. And the one thing I want to make sure that people realize is that you have an opportunity, even if you don't want to come buy a table and be down there on the floor, you've got an opportunity to come in and hear this incredible music for $25. And if you're a student or you're a member of the Tubman, it's $20. You can't go hear Najee any other place in this kind of setting for that price. And I think our hope is that we get a whole lot of people there to just have a fantastic evening.
How much is the Tubman membership?
It ranges from as little as $15 for students and senior citizens and artists, up to the higher ones. But a family membership is only about $50.
Right.
So it's a wonderful opportunity, and that gives you all other kinds of access to events throughout the year, and to come to our exhibit opens or come to the museum anytime you want for free.
Wow.
So it's a great way to get to come see these changing exhibits, to come for programs, to come for events, to come for incredible food, like when you come cook for us for International Taste of Soul. One of my favorite events because, food's dear to my heart. But, there's wonderful opportunities throughout the year. Bring your kids to summer camp. And for members, we keep giving back for that support by giving these kind of discounts on things that we...
Well, the moral of that story is buy a membership. Now, let's give out some information to those individuals. We're going to talk about some other things, so we don't want to confuse them. How about getting a ticket to Najee and a phone number?
Yes, there's many ways you can do that. A lot of people like to just come down to the museum and buy their tickets. What I would say, if you're interested in getting a table, you want to do that fast because those are going to go. But you can even the night of the event, you can come get tickets. Or you can go online and get tickets. And also, Certus Bank, at their 5 locations, are going to be selling tickets to the event. So you got a lot of different opportunities, and you really don't want to miss this.
Now, when you say online, how about telling us where to go online and the phone number?
You just go to tubmanmuseum.com, and you can purchase your tickets right there. It's secure, or you can call us at 478 area code 743-8544.
That's Najee.
Yes.
At the City Auditorium.
City Auditorium
on January the 25th, starting at 7 o'clock where the doors open. Balcony seats $25, and much, much more that I'll tell you about when we come back. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Alex Habersham, publisher of the Macon, Middle Georgia Black Pages. I would like to personally encourage everybody to take a minute and just think about the kind of contributions that African Americans are making and have made to our society. Additionally, I encourage you to take a look at the Black Pages, Macon, Middle Georgia Black Pages.com, to observe many of the business individuals who are making a contribution to our society. And finally, you can make a difference in our community by supporting those businesses, supporting the community, volunteering in the community, and that way we can make positive history in our community. I saw on, I guess, Web MD or something like that, one of the Dr. Oz or the doctors, one of these health shows, that chocolate, in fact, is good for you.
I'm glad to hear that.
You know, that it's very, very good for you. But then they're talking to you that you've got an event coming up called Death by Chocolate. So I really don't know what to believe.
Well, we haven't had any deaths so far.
Okay.
We have had a lot of people enjoy it.
But you all are very, very busy here at the Tubman as it relates to sponsoring events. And not only do you have Najee coming up at the City Auditorium on the 25th, but there's another event on the horizon. Let's talk about Death by Chocolate for a minute.
Well, that's a wonderful evening, a great date opportunity, just like all that jazz is, by the way. But it happens every year on Valentine's Day evening, and it includes a dinner and entertainment, including dancing and music and a live auction. And we always have Charles Richardson there to really keep it live and keep it moving. And it's just I think it's probably one of the best kind of deals you can get on a Valentine's evening event. And the funds raised from this go to support the Pan African Festival, which comes later in April. So this is something that's been going on for, I think, about 10 years. Pat Person heads this up, works with their crew. They put it all together. And it's just an incredible evening. And then there's the live and silent auction. But most importantly for us that are chocolate lovers, there's all kinds of chocolate desserts, and you're welcome. I'm so glad that now we can say the doctor said I'm supposed to do this.
Yeah. Where is it going to be?
It's going to be in the City Auditorium once again, so that's just such a marvelous location for that event, but also it gives opportunities, and there will be opportunities for couples to get up and dance, to enjoy the music, and to enjoy all the performances. So that has continued to grow. We always have a big crowd that shows up for that, and it's something to go ahead and put on.
So you're
the
going to have
calendar.
live music and
there may be some live music. There's always a DJ doing some music. Then there's also dancing, and sometimes there's even little small, short theatrical presentations. Yeah. You never know what all they're going to pull together.
But I can promise you they're going to do the wobble, whatever.
Yes, I think that's almost a given.
I can promise you that. Well, these are really exciting times for the Tubman African American Museum, not only from the Najee perspective or the Death by Chocolate perspective, but also because, I understand that you're very close to crossing that threshold, to the new building. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing Mr. Andy Ambrose, Executive Director of the Tubman Museum. That's how many square feet we got now?
Where we are right now is 8,500 square feet.
8,500 square feet. But then we're going to talk now about moving from 8,500 square feet to
49,000
square feet. So update us on the new Tubman facility.
Well, we started the new year off to an exciting start because construction has at long last begun on the interior of that beautiful museum, and construction folks are already at work starting to frame out those spaces in the new museum and in installing the systems, and in spring of 2015 we project that we're going to be opening this incredible museum to the public, and it's going to be, quite frankly, Alex, unlike any museum you've ever seen, both in terms of the architectural splendor of it, but more importantly in terms of what we're going to be able to present there. In the space we're here, and you see we're surrounded by art, but we can only show about a fifth of our collections in this space. We have most of our collections off-site and storage. In this new space, we're going to finally, people are going to have a chance to really get a sense of the beautiful, incredible collections we have of art, of history. And I think we're also going to have opportunities to do all sorts of more classes in the visual and performing arts. A lot of the events we're talking about now, that take place off-site because we don't have room, or some of them are going to move indoors and be in that beautiful setting. And again, we're so excited, and the community seems to be extremely excited about it too. So
there's a lot going on in this community. I hear people say every day that this is a new era for Central Georgia, Macon-Bibb County, and this is a new beginning for Macon and Bibb County. And then if you couple that with a new Tubman African American Museum, then it really ties in. Well, let's talk about some community outreach, some community input. How can the community help you, with some of the stuff that you're doing? What are some of the areas in which you would appreciate some assistance as it relates to moving the objective of this museum forward?
Well, I think there's a lot of ways that you can support both what we're doing educationally and in our classes, our events, our exhibits. And as you said before, one of them is just becoming a member. I think sometimes people think, I can't make a contribution. But by being a member, you are making a contribution. Going to these events that we've talked about. But also, the thing that's so important about moving this forward is not only that it's happening, but it's happened because of this community. When you look at this capital campaign and the $6 million that's been raised, the vast majority of that has come from this community. We've got some federal funding, but most of it has come from businesses, from individuals, from foundations that are here. And the final part of that puzzle that allowed us to move forward was the SPLOST. And so we see this as a community resource, a community project. And even during the construction, Alex, what we want to make sure happens is that there's an economic impact in the community. So we have made great efforts as we've been going through this process, getting everybody on board, that we have a really good representation, a majority representation of local and minority firms that are working in this project, because this is a gift. This was a gift to the Tubman, and we want to give back to the community. And we're very excited about how that's working and how we're able to partner with so many people to bring this to fruition.
Well, that's so extremely important, and I'm so proud. Well, although it's going to be 2015 before the new Tubman Museum opens, talk about a little what's happening down here at this location. Give the address and talk about, because there's an old expression that says, be a visitor in your own hometown.
Yes.
Being a visitor in your own hometown can lead you to, what's this address?
It's 340 Walnut Street,
Yeah.
right at the corner of Walnut and MLK Boulevard. And it's a good point. We have people come in every day, many of them from all around the world, and usually they're just blown away by how much there is in this small building. People think they're going to come in, they're going to maybe see a small little exhibit, it's not going to be of high quality, and then they're going to head out. But what is already happening here is worth coming to support. You don't have to wait to the new museum. You can get a sense, and the events that we offer with our exhibit openings, and we're changing exhibits all the time. We do 4 or 5 exhibits a year, which is unheard of in most museums. And so you can, even if you've been here, you come back, there's something new. And even the exhibit receptions, we have music, we have food, we have a good time here at this place. But again, what else we are focusing on is not just what we do here, but what we do out in the community, in the schools, in after-school programs. Wow. And what is missing oftentimes now for our children in school is the arts. And what we've done is work with the artists in this community, people like Winnie McQueen, or Rudy Mendez, or Pilar Wilder, to be able to bring the instruction in the arts. And it makes a huge difference for these kids because they get to develop their creative side. They find something that engages them, that allows them to express themselves. And it makes them, and the amazing thing is it improves their grades, their performance, not just in art, but throughout the academic spectrum. So that's what we're doing now, and people have an opportunity to come and support that, to get involved in that, to our summer camps or any of those others. And they can just go to our website, again, at tubmanmuseum.com, start to get a sense of that. But as I always say, you don't have to wait for the new museum. We want you all to come there, but you need to come see what's happening in this space right now.
Well, I'm going to say this. Some people say be a visitor in your own hometown. I'm going to say be ashamed in your own hometown if you have not visited and supported the Tubman African American Museum. This is a call to action.
A call to
And
action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham. We'll be having an expo soon, And the Tubman will be exhibiting at the expo, Making Black Pages Consumer Business Expo. So you'll hear more information on that pretty soon. I want to thank Mr. Andy Ambrose, who's the executive director of the Tubman Museum, I'm getting used to saying that.
Yeah, I love it saying that.
I want to thank Trace and Andy Crum, our executive producers, for all they do for the Tubman, the community, and of course, a call to action. This is a call to action.
A call to
I'm
action.
your host, Alex Habersham. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Alex.
A call to action.
A call to action.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
And I'm your host, Alex Habersham. I'm so happy today to have with me, I guess I'm going to call her my resident interviewee, Miss Gerri McCord, who's the director of the Ruth Hartley Mosley Center. And the first thing I'd like to do is to congratulate you on doing a phenomenal job.
Well, thank you.
I've seen a whole lot of positive signs of progress with the center. I know you got a whole lot going on, and I know you've got a whole lot that you want to do. So just kind of walk us through your experience as being the director since you've been here, a few months now, and what you've seen that has improved and changed, and what you would like to see change.
Okay, well, we'll start, like you say, I've been here about 4 months, and I'm very excited and just really elated about what has happened in 4 months. I just can't believe it. I have to pat myself on the back when I think about where we've come from and where we are in 4 months. And like you say, too, I love Macon. I grew up in Macon like Mr. Habersham. I'd left for about 22 years, and now I'm back, and I'm back because I love Macon and I'm ready to make a difference. And that's why I'm excited to be at the Ruth Hartley Mosley Center because, we have such a jewel in this facility that everywhere I go, I mention it. Some people are familiar with it and most people are not. And that's my goal, is to make sure that all people, whether you're a Maconite or transplant or a visitor, to learn about Mrs. Mosley's life and come and visit the center because it's such an asset, such a treasure to the Macon and the Middle Georgia community. And I always talk about, her life and how many cities can brag about a black woman leaving this type of legacy for her community. It's just not heard of often. And so my goal is to make sure that the foundation has been established, and my goal is to make sure that I continue her legacy and build on it and make sure that Macon embrace Mrs. Mosley's home and her legacy. Well, since I started here, it's been I'm calling I hate to use the word rebirth, but, it really is a rebirth because, sometimes things just kind of die down. And so it is a rebirth. And we're bringing in different organizations. And the last time I had the opportunity to talk about the center, I was asking organizations that used to have meetings here to come back. I singled out the Links, Jack and Jill, and things like that. And guess what? The Links and Jack and Jill are back. And they're excited to be here. And we're looking at other organizations to come back as well. And some of the things that we've had in the past, we're working, Volunteer Macon is really a great supporter to the center. And they're sending volunteers to come and help us, to rebirth the center. We have other people in the community, thanks to Mr. Habersham and his blast, putting it out there. People are, I forgot about that. And now they're back and ready to roll up their sleeves. I haven't had anybody to say that they didn't want to help. They didn't want to make sure. And so many of us, in our era, we remember the days at the center as being fun days, days with lots of activity, days that we were proud of, days that really built our foundation, that gave us something to seek and our futures in terms of education, being a community-minded person, or just being a person that's very active in the community. And I think a lot of us found that here at this center. So it's so important that we make sure that we continue to make sure the center is flourishing.
Good thing. And before we get too far into this interview, and congratulations again. I'm very, very excited about your having this position. I'm very excited about the work that you've done. I'm very excited about this resource and how at least it's beginning to be utilized more.
Passionate to want the people and the residents of Macon to support this center, support what she did. Am I running over?
No, you're not running over, because I think you just said a key word, which is support. And I got the letter. I got the letter in the mail.
And a lot of folks got the letter. They're not responding to my letter.
Well, I got it. But before we talk about the letter, I'm going to make a personal appeal to the entire community to support this center. It brings so much. They've got an educational building next door. It's got a facility here that can be utilized for small receptions, and it's got a legacy that we all need to try to preserve. Congratulate you, and I want to encourage the community, to let's support this entity. Now, she's not only looking to receive. I happen to know that she's interested in giving to organizations and entities that need a place to meet, and then this will be an excellent daycare center, schools, and other education, tutorial programs, and other educational organizations. This would be an excellent place to do a field trip. I've heard this Ruth Hartley Mosley story, several times, and I'm always goosebumped up when I hear the story and hear about that lady's accomplishments. Hello, this is Alex Habersham, publisher of the Macon, Middle Georgia Black Pages. We've got a sneak preview on www.maconblackpages.com of the 2014 edition. Additionally, coming soon, the Business Consumer Expo of Central Georgia, where we will launch the book, show businesses, interact with each other, network, and have a great time. Coming soon, the Macon Black Pages Business and Consumer Expo. Be on the lookout for it.
www.maconblackpages.com